Hi rebel buddies, it's time for freaking bullshit stuff. Are you guys ready to listen to me rambling your ears off? If you guys are ready, then brace yourself and let's go. I'm just kidding. Just joking. Let me get straight to the point. In this vid, I would love to share with you guys some kind of efficient ways to absorb vocabs that I already collected by myself. However, there is some stuff I really need to clarify before I begin my series of sharing. Those are supposed to be, referencing stuff. When I say that, I mean you guys can have a go at those techniques for the benefits of enhancing your usage of vocabs. But don't take those too seriously because they are just supposed to be subjective opinions, okay? So if you guys like put them into practice, but you guys just find there is no efficiency in it, don't blame on me. But vice versa, don't take those too serious. Don't take those for granted, cause those are tested stuff. I have tested the waters, and I see those techniques are kinda those definitely worked for me. So maybe they might work for you guys too. And the reason why I decided to shoot this video is because I see lots of rebel individuals have trouble expanding the usage of vocabs. And there is something we couldn't deny that vocabs are a crucial part of learning a language, because it helps to build up the foundation of language usage with regards to four skills: listening, speaking, writing, and reading. So in this video, I would love to focus on how to exploit the best of vocab usage. Let's get started. Okay, so first of all, I would like to ask you guys a question first. What do you do when encountering a new word? Well, dating back to the high school time, when I first learned English, I ran into a new word and I just automatically wrote it down with an equivalent expression in Vietnamese in the notebook. Of course, it definitely didn't work out for me. There is a huge assumption possessed by a lot of English learners in Vietnam that um, they just like write down the word. They write down the equivalent meaning of the word in Vietnamese, but they don't really know the definition of the word that they learn. And there is a massive gap between the definition of the word in English and the equivalent expression in Vietnamese. For example, the word ngon. Uh, that is the equivalent expression in Vietnamese, but when it comes to English expression, when you look up this word in a dictionary, you find out that it might be defined like highly enjoyable. So the meaning of this is really extreme. So it is absolutely ridiculous when you're enjoying a cup of coffee, a glass of milk, and you say delicious. Oh, the meal tastes delicious. Or when eating anything, you say delicious all the time. Um, Delicious has an extreme meaning, so abusing it too much is not good. So it is usually used when you enjoy a very, 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 very tasty kind of food. So you just use the word delicious, but just like drink a cup of coffee or have a glass of milk, um, we can substitute this word with a bunch of other words like half decent, good, like oh the coffee tastes good. That's it. We shouldn't say the coffee tastes delicious. It sounds so exaggerating. It is the downside of learning vocabs by focusing on the equivalent meanings in Vietnamese only, but not digging the nature of the word in English. Furthermore, when talking about vocabs, learners are advised to study words in phrases, which is definitely right all the time. When I say that, I'm talking about collocation and phrasal verbs. Collocation and phrasal verbs are super duper common in English speaking countries because they make people go natural in daily conversation. There are some common collocations in English, varied from simple ones such as fast food, fast train, to more difficult ones such as make allowances for or foot the bill. Maybe some might wondering how food can go perfectly with bill that way. Well, who knows? It is the nature of the language. Then, when you learned a word, or when I learned a word, I usually should search for its collocation for the sake of utilizing it legitimately. Remember, legitimately, okay? I would like to give you guys a very simple example like this for you guys to easily visualize. In Vietnamese, we usually say, uh, when we say chó mực, mèo mun, it means đen, right? Chó đen, mèo đen. But why don't we say chó mun mèo mực? Because it is the nature of Vietnamese language. It is Vietnamese collocations, and we just learn it by heart. We just like learn it because we listen to it too much. So it has become something very, very common in daily speaking. Every time we refer to chó đen, we usually say chó mực. We never say chó mun. It sounds ridiculous. So it is like when the way native speakers say, um, uh, they say fast food. They never say quick food because it sounds unnatural. Even when you say quick food, they still understand. Or I want to take a fast shower. It sounds ridiculous. People usually say, I want to take a quick shower. Nghĩa là đi tắm qua. Okay? After tackling the meaning of the word, I would like to move on to studying its part of speech and its variety represented by its word form. Learning how to use words with right word forms in conversation is really vital because it represents your English ability. Just visualizing a situation like this. You are talking with a British person and you say, I want to enrollment a business course in London. When you say that, it results in a puzzlement to a person you're talking to, even in the case that they still understand you. But the way you speak sounds fucking dead wrong, right? The right one, the right one that you should say is, I would like to enroll a business course in London. It should be a verb in that position, right? Therefore, confusing between word forms when it comes to learning a language is such a language disaster. It's something you should avoid. So it brings me to another point. How to master the part of speech of the word. That's really simple when you look up a word in a dictionary. There is always some characters such as V and ADJ. V stands for verb, N stands for noun, and so on. Those are abbreviations of part of speech. So remember to focus on those stuff. Don't rule out them. Okay? I strongly believe that to be able to master the part of speech of the word when speaking helps you to be more fluid and confident with your expressions. Um, the last but not least, the final step I would like to mention is that concentrating on expanding the word synonyms and antonyms is also very, very necessary. I have to admit that synonyms are my catalyst for my various expressions in speaking along with collocations and phrasal verbs. I could freely express my idea without shying away from incorporating different synonyms in my talk. I think you guys should you guys should take a shot at it too, because it absolutely helps to jazz up your conversation. Let's give up an example like this. When I learned the word ability, okay, just hold on a minute. I need to turn on the light. When I learned the word ability, ability is a noun, right? And I usually study a very common phrase like this: have an ability to do something. For example, I have an ability to study English. And it makes me think about the word which has an opposite meaning to the word ability. It is disability. So that's the way I expand the variety of the word. And what is the adjective of the word ability? It is the word able. And in English, we have a very common phrase like this: to be able to do something. To be able to do something is mean you have an ability to do something. So basically, they mean the same. Like I'm able to drive a car. I have an ability to drive a car. I am able to I'm able to dive into the water. And it makes me think about the verb form of the word ability. It is enable. enable somebody to do something. For example, I enable my brother to take part in um, universities for gifted students. And the word which has the opposite meaning to the word enable is disable. Disable something. For example, disable the audio system or disable a computer system. It just basically means you make something stop working. So by just learning by this way, oh, I forget one thing. The word disabled, when it comes to adjective, it means you put uh, the D after the word. Disabled means handicapped. Uh, it is a word describing, referring to a person having problem with their physical mobility. So by learning this way, you can study all the varieties of the word ability and you can easily put them into practice for the benefit of using it, exhausting this word to the best of usage. So I don't believe in learning too much word one day. I think you just like need to spend time learning 1 or 2 words a day. That's enough because I think it is much better if you know how to use 1 or 2 words, but in a very, very deep way, rather than you learned a bunch of words, but you just write down the meanings of the words, the definition of the words, but you don't really know how to put it into practice. You don't really know how to incorporate those words into conversation to give more ambience. So those though are sucked totally. So everything you learned is totally futile. So I think the videos is kind of long already. Thanks so much for stick with me to the end. To some degree, I hope my pieces of sharing are able to help you guys figure out the way to exhaust your lexical resources to the highest with a view to expressing much cooler. Goodbye.